I'm trying to preserve my battery life.
Oh,
Y'all
really?
say hi to Dr. Jean.
Hey, it's
That's
Dr. Jackson Dean,
Dr.
the
Jackson.
pen slaying author. Look me up, www.drlashondajacksondean.com.
Who we saying hi to?
Everybody.
Oh, hey everybody. Hey everybody. I feel like a commercial.
Yeah.
We're selling trucks. What's that we listening to?
Hey fans, we're still on break. Stay with us. We'll be returning in a little bit.
The song is
What's up, Russell
Marvin
Blue?
Sapp, My Testimony.
Hit him right.
I like
good choice.
that.
I don't want him on. I just want to say hi to him.
Oh, okay.
That's my homeboy right there. Russell. Tells you them threes, huh?
Phone going off. I feel like my phone out there feeling all the love they phone feeling. I can be socially accepted too.
I know. All right, we're about to get back to the show. So I'm just trying to find us some songs. So when we get back, we have some great songs to
We'll say
listen
hello.
to. I'm
Who's
excited
all
about
on
that.
here?
Alright, y'all ready? I'm really excited for today's show. I know, right?
Let's do it, man. Let's get this party started.
Would this be a turn up moment?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, here we go. That is Marvin Sapp. If you guys were wondering, that is Marvin Sapp, My Testimony. We're going to go ahead and get back on the radio.
All right, we're about to get started again.
Back live, good people.
Hi, y'all. If y'all tuning in on gospelradionation.com, we are back in the conversation. Today's topic is the love triangles between me, my mind, and my heart. We're not talking about the regular love triangles. We're talking about the love triangles between ourselves. That affect how we have our relationships, not only with our spouses, but our co-workers, our friends, our children, because it really is up to us and to how much the self-improvement we experience in our lifetime. How much healing and how much growth is really up to us. Now, we have a co-host in the studio today. I'm so excited, and I'm just such a fan of his work. I love following his page. Would you please introduce yourself again for us?
Yes, greetings and salutations once again, America, Texas, whomever is listening.
H-Town.
The entire, all the town, whatever mission you want.
Whatever set you claim.
You know, what set you claim, all that stuff. Okay, wait, not on the affirmation.
Oh my God.
What general affiliation do you have? I'm Sebastian Moore, the Sebastian Moore, and I am the owner and CEO of Progress to Purpose Concierge Therapy. So I am a service that facilitates the transition from what you have to what you want. My goal is to help you meet your purpose, right? To help you progress to your purpose, and I do that by coming to where you are, trying to work with you to make sure that the environment that you're in is one that is so comfortable that the issues that you're facing can be the focal point versus us being restrained or constrained by your hindrances or apprehension about therapy. I work with teens and adolescents quite a bit and couples quite a bit, but anybody, whatever your issue is, I do work with you. I am a serve all because I love all.
Wow.
Another hashtag.
That's hashtag. That's definitely hashtag right there.
Serve all because I love.
Hashtag melanated for the tender moment.
Yeah, I like that what was it, the self-care?
Self-care.
Yeah.
What was it?
Can't self-medicate. You can't gotta self-care.
You gotta get steps to this. You have to be able to deal with yourself first before you can get to the healing that's necessary. We can't, like, it's so funny you mention that. I just get blown away. I love when I see all the dots in my life being connected from day to day, and you feel like, okay, I'm on the right track with things.
Right.
Yesterday I was going through my book, which I do have in studio also, and one of the days that I was reading, because it's a 21-day devotional, was the fact that people try and self-medicate with alcohol, drugs, other people, and it's just up to us to make sure that those are not the ways we prescribe the healing that we need. It's really, you can't get around it. It's just digging through the mess. I remember cleaning out, just unrelated, but same principle. I was cleaning out, a cabinet, just And I was like, golly, you don't realize how much stuff
Yeah.
Accumulate.
is
Absolutely.
in there. You know, a lot of times because it's pushed back, you can't really see it. It's underneath, it's tucked away. But when I start digging in the back, reaching down at the bottom, I was kind of scared what I was going to find.
Right.
Be like, I thought I lost it.
Yeah, I know. It's finding all kinds of stuff in there. But it was the same. It's the same
thing with our
principle.
problems.
We don't realize that we're holding on to a lot of the junk that we experience because we tuck it. Our mind may just kind of hold on to it. Our hearts may snag it.
Right.
And then when you get all of it out, you're overwhelmed at all of the stuff that was. I mean, I couldn't believe it. But it was. It had to get messy before I could clean it out. Then you go through that process of clearing out the clutter.
Right.
Okay, I don't need this jar of lotion because I have 3 more just like it and it's almost empty. Might as well just go lather up with the rest of it and throw it away, right? So I don't hold on to the things that I feel comfortable with.
Right.
I don't hold on to the same patterns and people that don't serve the purpose that God's had for me. And then I can actually see what's been on the inside.
Absolutely.
You got to be able to, once you clear it out, then you can really see.
Right.
You can't see if you're trying to look past all the clutter because all you're just going to see is clutter.
Right.
But you got to get that out so you can say, okay, this is insecurity because this is what was said to me when I was going through this. This is what happened, and now I feel like every time I'm in a situation like this, I have to respond exactly the same way. So I spent a good piece of time trying to figure out what needed to go back in and what needed to be thrown away. And when we really approach that principle, like in our hearts and in our minds, there's some stuff that needs to just be thrown out.
Some need to go. Yeah,
Throw
absolutely.
it out. It either doesn't serve you anymore, your life has evolved,
Right.
and the old ways won't fit new ways, won't solve new problems.
Right.
Right.
It's true.
Right?
Right.
Or you may have a different group of people in your life that you can't apply the same love principles to. You have to learn how to grow up
Right.
to their level. And I mean, it's not always about being above or below, but you do have to meet people where they are.
That's true.
So at this point, you know, I'm excited because we're back in the show. Remember, today we're talking to 2 great panelists, and I'm going to let them reintroduce themselves. If you're listening on live at gospelradionation.com, thank you for coming back with us. If you were on Facebook, thank you for staying through our pictures. But I'm going to let you go ahead and just reintroduce yourself.
All right. Well, I'm Andrew Landry. I'm the author of the book, Overcoming the Addiction That No One Has. The book topically is about sex addiction. The story of the book is hope and redemption. I'm an author. I public speaking. I do pastoral counseling. And I just want to present an avenue for men and women to be whole and healed. But I think it starts with the man.
I like that, and I'm going to be honest, I didn't even realize I like the end part, the addiction that no one had. Because a lot of times we have all these problems and we don't want people to know that we're struggling with these things. But like I said, once you get that stuff from underneath that cabinet, you can start identifying what to put back in to enrich your life. So we also have Dr. Jackson in too.
Hello, I'm Dr. LaShonda Jackson Dean, also known as the Pen Slaying author. I am the owner of Jackson Dean Investment as well as Greatness Pursuit, a nonprofit. I am an author, a speaker, as well as a life coach. And I inspire, empower, and encourage others to be the best versions of themselves. A few of the books that I have authored starts with a case study on senior level African American women in corporate America. The next one is Seed to Seed, Systemic Oppression and PTSD. We also have Level Up Through Mindfulness. There's a workbook, Level Up Through Mindfulness, the Life Book, Part 2. And I will be releasing a children's book later on this month called The Tea Party with a Prayer.
All right.
And don't forget about my series that's coming out called The Invisibles. I'm here in H-Town, and call me if you need me, if you want to learn more about me or purchase any of my items, go online to www.drlashandajacksondean.com.
Right.
Awesome.
Personalized website.
I know, I love
It's
it.
the
I
only
love
way to
it,
go.
love it. Sebastian is going to lead us because we're going to be talking into good stuff here. We're going to be talking about the culture of trust. I love how you put that, because trust is it's its own thing.
Absolutely.
I mean, it lives and it dies.
Absolutely.
You know, it is an organic thing. The culture of trust. We're going to talk about how to trust, how to be transparent, how to be vulnerable, and how to create those safe spaces, because it's not enough to know how when you're in a place that's not safe. So the other recipient part is either are you creating a safe space for yourself so that you can be vulnerable? Are you going to attack yourself? Because we attack ourselves.
That's true. That's
You know,
true.
we try to say, okay, you know, I have this problem, I'm going to fix it, and then you're like, nah, you crazy for going to talk to somebody, and you talk yourself out of it. So just the culture of trust.
Right. And so I guess one of the things that we kind of need to address a little bit more as far as the trust issue is, you know, the hindrances, like what she was saying, that keep us from getting to that trust. And so you guys mentioned in the first segment, you talked quite a bit about a lot of the root.
Right.
And we, you know, talked about the root quite a bit, but kind of maybe wanted to know more about how we identify what part of the root is keeping us from trusting someone else. Doctor?
Well, it is what it is. It's the root and where these issues come from, where they originate from. And so if you have issues and patterns that have developed within, let's say within your childhood, let's say one of your parents left you. And so now you feel like that anybody that you love, if you love them too much, they're going to leave you. And so if you don't get that fixed, if you don't realize that your parent leaving you was not your fault, and you don't move past that, you start to layer this, and this just get packed down deeper and deeper. And so when it finally manifests throughout your life, it starts to leak into your relationships with others. And so now, anytime you get into a relationship with a man or a woman, now you're scared to open up. Now you're scared to give them your all, because you feel like, if I love this person to my fullest, this person is going to leave me, because that's what my mom did. That's what my dad did. I loved him, and all I could give him was my love, which I thought was enough. They took my love and they left.
Bounce.
Yeah, they bounced on me. They bounced on me. Took my love, my heart.
And it's kind of ironic that you say that, because a lot of times what we do when we're trying to withhold that love, trying to protect ourselves, we really create a situation where we kind of force ourselves into that situation where the other person is like, this is too much, I can't deal. So we end up pushing people away, trying to protect ourselves.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, and I think the root, getting to the root is vital, but I think the other component is forgiveness. We have to forgive people. Even when you think about when Jesus was on the cross, he said, forgive them, for they know not what they do. A lot of times that parent that left didn't really know what they were doing.
Right.
They really didn't understand the gravity of what they were doing. And so I think it's that same approach. And if we can forgive people, then we can start getting to the root. But as long as I hold a grudge, I'm not going to the root. There's no reason for me to, because I'll harbor that and I'll keep it, and it'll, like you say, it'll manifest somewhere else. It's because, one, my heart isn't right enough to forgive them for what they did. And so I think that's one of the leading causes. One of the other things, I think, as Christians, and I recognize everybody doesn't believe Christianity.
Right, but the principles are applied across the board, I would say.
The principles, I think, are good. But when you look at forgiveness, and this is a kind of a discussion that we had with the men, it is, how do I trust somebody after they hurt me?
Right.
Right. That's a good one. That is a good one. How do you restore trust?
Now, this is just me.
Personal opinion.
This is just me. I ain't read no books.
So
I ain't no work studies. None of that stuff.
But for those who were in the first segment, this brother shared with us that he was not necessarily a fan of the reading or the writing.
Right. I don't like to read too much.
But now he is an author. He is speaking to the people about the reading and the writing. And
This is a public service announcement.
Yeah. There's no reflection.
Disclaimer.
Absolutely. Put that out there. Put that out there. What I'll say is, in trying to be as Christ-like as possible.
Right.
It's not all is possible because Christ is perfect.
Right.
But when you think about it, When Peter betrayed Jesus, he betrayed him 3 times. The very next communication they had, Jesus went to Peter and he said, "Feed my sheep." There wasn't, well, if you treat me right, feed my sheep. If you're gonna not betray me again, feed my sheep. Not if you, it was the thing that I came to the world to save, which was the sheep. The person that betrayed me, I give it to you. That is what forgiveness really looks like. It is a clean slate. What you did, I know, because Jesus didn't forget that he was betrayed.
Right.
So the thing, I know you did it, but I release myself to give you the thing that's most important to me. And for us, it may be our heart.
Right.
So for us as humans, it's our heart. So giving it back to somebody that hurt us, and that's a deep level of maturity that it takes to do that.
It really.
How do you give your heart back to your own self?
How do you give your heart back to your own self?
As far as like when you're protecting your heart and someone has hurt it, you've been hurt now. So how do I, at what point am I comfortable enough and safe enough to say, okay, I'm going to let you give a shot at this, let me see what you can do with it,
Well, I really believe that's a part of growth. And so when you're ready to grow, when you finally make up in your mind, look, I have sat in this and I have sat in this and I have waddled in this for too long, and it has proved to serve me of no purpose. So now it's time for me to grow. And so with that growth, you have to look within yourself. Going back to that root again.
Back on that root.
It is always going to the root of the problem. If you want to solve the problem, you got to get down to the root.
Back in the country, it was the roots.
The roots. You got to go to the roots.
At this point, since we're all grown, it is going to be the roots.
It's
going to be the roots at this point. And somebody online might be listening like, well, how? Because I don't even know why I feel this way sometimes. I don't even know why I get angry, why I go off when this situation happens, why I keep reacting the same way. So how do you encourage somebody to even find out what's going on with them?
Well, first of all, we know what's going on with us. We know what's going on. It is, are we willing to take the steps? So, and like I say, I'm a big advocate for mental health therapy. I am. It works. It just works. And so, it just works. And so the thing is, you can't, it's again self-medication. So I'm trying to tell myself that I'm going to be okay. Or I'm going to tell myself it's okay. Or I'm going to tell myself this is what I need to do. But sometimes it comes from somebody who has the knowledge, whether it's through study, whether it's through scripture, to be able to bring in an objective point of view so that I can see. Because I can't see myself now. Because my emotions cloud my vision. So now having somebody that can come in and say, a part of the problem is, and this is the homework that you need to do to start getting past that. So and every situation is different. But I believe that if we get the professional help that we need, then we will start getting past some of those places that we are.
Yeah, and one of the funny things is that, like when I work with folks, I kind of bring in Jahari's window, and Jahari's window is basically like a 4 quadrants, and it's just how you are, the knowledge that you have, the self-actualization we talked about in the previous segment, and I think a lot of times we spend so much time in the part that I know about me, and the part that I let other people know about me, and we don't get to the part that people know about me that I don't know.
Absolutely.
And the unknown part that is hard to get to the root.
Right.
It's hard.
Yeah, it is hard to get to the root of the situation sometimes, and I'm going to also add a little bit to what he was saying. When somebody else sees you and we have that potential there, and you say, I could see the potential in you, but you don't see it in yourself because you feel like you're not worthy of having something better or good in your life. But when you have a good friend, or you have a prayer partner, you have a psychiatrist or a counselor that can say, hey, in order for you to get to this potential, we got to scrape away all this muck that you got going on right here that's causing you to stay in that same situation. Why are you staying in the same situation? Back to the root. What is causing you to want to stay in that same situation? What benefit are you getting out of staying in that situation?
And, I had a very eye-opening experience trying to date after divorce. I mean, I could write a book on that. But
Sound like that's
that's
a book title right there. Dating
I know,
Dating
right?
after divorce. That's a
It
book.
is.
The book sign.
We speak that.
It's pitch black on the cover. Nothing darkness. But I had a person tell me that they loved me for who they thought I was.
Mm-hmm.
And when I tell you that rocked me to my core for several reasons. For one, I was like, well, who did you think I was?
Mm-hmm.
Because I showed you everything that I was at this point in my life. Second, I was like, well, how are you internalizing or, receiving what I'm giving you? Who I am? How do you receive me? Is it because, you're not receiving, I'm not speaking your love language?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Is it because the way it was communicated was a negative on me?
Mm-hmm.
And then also it made me want to make sure that I was totally healed.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That he didn't, because my dad always raised me on the saying, you don't give anybody something to say.
Mm-hmm.
And now over time, I have given a whole lot of people something to say, being reactive. But I learned that, I have to make sure that he doesn't have any validity in what he says. It's just his way of experiencing me
Right.
that caused him to attach himself to whatever part of me that he mostly identified with.
Mm-hmm.
And also it made me want to make sure that I was connected to somebody who could see who I was.
Right.
Because I read everybody, God's not going to reveal who you are to everybody.
Absolutely.
Because some people can come and totally have the whole intention of destroying
That's
Right.
true.
the good that they see in your future.
Right.
Because potential is powerful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always good to know who you are as a person, because everybody always have a perception of who they think you are or
Right.
who they want you to be.
Right.
You can't be what somebody else wants you to be. You can only be you. And that's what you should really work on, is trying to be the best version of you. And that's one of the things I talk about in my book, Level Up Through Mindfulness, is being the best version of yourself.
Right.
Not worrying about the perception of others, because what somebody else think is none of your business.
Mm, that's true.
Right.
There's a song that's out right now. I believe it's Andy Mineo's like that. That's none of my business. The whole song is about it not being your business, and I think we have to be careful because we tend to do that, and that's very good that you say that as far as it not being my business. I think we have to put a caveat right there, because I know a lot of folks, they'll take that and then they'll say, well, I don't care what anybody
Right.
has to say about me, because that's none of your.
Right.
And I figure that's not what the good doctor means, but. Like you said, the best version of yourself.
The best version of yourself.
is different,
Yeah.
because in order for you to become the best version, you have to have enough humbleness about yourself to allow someone
Absolutely.
to speak into your life.
Right.
You
Absolutely.
got to clean up that root. That
Yeah,
root.
that root.
Clean that root up.
Exactly. I mean, I think that is such a good point. Now we are nearing the end of the show, man. The time just really,
Yeah,
It
flew
really
by.
did.
flew by. Usually about this time I'm passing out gifts. We saying our last word.
Their gifts?
I know, yeah. That's my love language.
Let you talk to my wife. Y'all was supposed to dine together.
A conference is happening
Yeah,
now at the conference with the book sign.
And my love language is gifts. So I always, if you want to make my day, is just be on my heart to give you a gift.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go through the ends of the world. I'm super thoughtful to a degree, to a default.
I understand.
So before we go, I also want to talk about transparency.
And I wanted to talk about transparency too. I did, I
did,
really did.
you
Yeah,
did.
work well together. But I wanted to talk about it because I think the thing that we didn't get to, that we kind of wanted to get to, was how transparency and ego are
Oh,
at
that's
conflict
right.
with one another,
Ooh.
and how your ego can keep you from being transparent. And I kind of wanted to start with this brother because he starts in the barbershop, and that's one of the main places where brothers are like, yeah, boy, when I was 16, I could jump 22 feet and I scored 40
absolutely.
points in every game.
Right.
You came off the bench, sir.
Right.
Stop the lies.
Right.
But that ego.
Another hashtag.
Another hashtag. Stop the lies.
I think the main thing is that ego is what boys are taught. So when Junior comes home in the 6th grade, all his uncles is asking how many girlfriends he got. How many girlfriends you got? How many girls you kissed today? Whatever that thing is. We're taught to be macho. If John falls at 3, get up, boy. Don't be crying. So it's that thing that we're like the ABCs, we taught that. So now we got to be able to handle it ourselves because that's what they taught us how to do.
Yeah.
And so now, all my life, I'm taught, handle it yourself, man up, be a man. And so now I got to come in the barbershop, and I know that you played in the NBA, and I didn't go to college and play, but now I got to make myself bigger. I got to make myself, because I don't measure up to you.
Right.
But if we will take that ego and put it, ego is just a form of pride. It is pride, because I'm not as good as you. And we're comparing ourselves. So the way to is recognize who you are.
Right.
You know, I recognize I just played college ball. So I just played college ball. That's good enough for me.
Right.
It's good enough for me. I don't care if you play the NBA. I don't care if you're in the Hall of Fame. It's good enough for me. And when you become confident in yourself, it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. You know, and so with that, then you're able to be transparent. Well, you know, man, I played college ball, you know, started, you know, I scored 2 points the whole year. But I'm confident in who I am, and it don't matter what you think about me.
I
One thing,
earned them 2 points.
I worked hard for
Worked
it.
hard
Even
for
though
those 2
it was a
points.
technical on 2 free throws, whatever it is.
Knock them down.
Yeah. And so men have to learn how to be okay with who they are. You know, not what somebody wanted them to be or what somebody thought they should be or how they should have done something. You know, I could tell one of my friends, I could run for office. I could run for public office because all my stuff is out there. You can't come back and say, oh, well, he did this and he did that. Hey, my stuff is here in the book. So it is the transparency allows me to be vulnerable, and it's already out there. It ain't nothing you can bring to me.
Ooh, I like that.
Right.
Transparency gives you freedom.
Freedom.
Yes.
You are
That's all
free.
I have to say.
You are free when you are transparent. And it takes a strength. It takes a strength, and a lot of people think it's the opposite. Well, I'm strong if I just keep it to myself. I keep it bottled up. Women too. I got to be a strong woman, strong, independent woman. No, you can be the woman that you are, the nurturer that you are, the sensitive being that you are. And you can still be wrapped up in strength, but you have to appropriate that strength in the right perspective. Being vulnerable is a strength. And it's freeing.
It's freeing.
Because I spend more energy trying to hide who I am than being who I am.
Yeah, if you just be yourself.
I have to agree with you on the freeing part of it. And I was about to say transparency is one of the best things that you can have in a relationship. When you can have a person that, regardless of what you say, regardless of what you do, regardless of what you look like, they still love you. You still love them. That's a beautiful thing. And you need to have transparency in every relationship that you have. And if you start off wrong with you trying to hide everything, it's going to eventually come out anyway. And then normally when it comes out, it destroys a lot of things because like you were saying, he loved you for what he thought you was, right? So he was thinking something like but when you have that full transparency, right? When you can be exactly who you are at every moment of the day with this person, that's a beautiful thing. That's when you know you have a real relationship.
And also with your children too.
Yes.
Stop trying to be the perfect parent.
Yeah, right.
You have to, I go back to my son and say, you know what, son, I'm sorry.
Right.
I apologize. I should not have spoken too soon. I should have took a minute. Or if I have an emotion and I have to drop a tear, I'm gonna drop a tear.
Right.
Or say, I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love my dad.
Yes.
I'm gonna pick on you for just a little bit. But he is a man. I talked about all his different components. He is just a worker bee. If it's anything, he can fix it. If it's anything, he can solve it. And I had to teach him to just say, I don't know. Because he would well up. And when he hit me with the well up, I said, okay, you know, come on now. But now in his communication, he said, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll say, I'll look it up on the internet. So we replace it with what we're trying to fill in the sentence with.
Right.
Duma facie.
Yeah, and
That's what my dad said.
Yeah.
You got to get the Duma facie.
What is that?
But that's the funny thing is when Dad get the thing over there next to the thing, and then you breathe and bark the thing next to the thing, and
It was the wrong thing.
It's the wrong thing.
Not that thing, the other
Yeah,
thing.
that
Oh,
dude fought
God.
you over there.
But our language has to change, and we have to make sure that we're not just filling in the gaps of silence.
Right.
Right.
With what boils down at the end of the day is still going to be a lack of understanding if you don't know.
Yeah.
Just like, I don't
Yeah,
know off top.
I don't
Right,
know.
right.
Like, how about you tell me? You look it up and you tell me.
Yeah.
Or how about we figure this thing
Well,
out
that's
together?
together.
That works. That's an option.
Say you don't
Exactly.
understand where a person's going. I hear you. I just don't understand. Help me to understand where you're coming from. Take a minute to really evaluate your response. Is it coming from a place of past experience? Is it coming from hurt? Is it coming from healing? A healed place. I always say also when you get your advice, make sure you're getting your advice from a healed person.
Absolutely.
Because if they broken and you broken, all y'all getting is bits and pieces.
Bits and pieces.
Or at the
You-
very least, somebody who's honest enough to see the real you and to know your heart
Right.
and to know your intentions that can say, well, I know what you were trying to do,
Right.
I know, yeah.
Right.
but that ain't what you did.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, bruh,
Right.
you wrong.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
because if you have somebody that can do that, then when they say, nah, I hear where you coming from,
Right.
Yeah.
then you have that confidence, but it's not ego.
Right.
Exactly.
It's an understanding. It meet you. Like, I understand what you meant.
Right.
I always tell people, you have kids and be like, well, and they're trying, you ask them a question, they try and explain. I say, keep going.
Right.
Be confident, because they'll get quiet on you, because, I'm an educator. Keep going, because I understand where you're coming from. So sometimes we have to just kind of come down a notch to a level of understanding.
Right.
Like, and I think the main thing is just meeting people where they are.
Where they are.
Even if it's meeting yourself where you are at that particular time.
Absolutely.
You don't have to have life all figured out. Guess what?
That's
I'm 38. I mean, that's young to some people and old to some. But even after living 38 years and then going through a multitude of experiences that I feel like maybe some of my own friends have never even known anybody to go through, I still don't have it figured out.
Right.
And it's still parts of me, and when I go and I public speak, I always say, I'm excited about the parts of me I don't know. Because I'm taking the initiative to get to know those parts.
Right.
Right.
Because sometimes those parts, those unknown parts will scare you. You be like, I can't do that. I can't write this book.
Right.
But then you find an author in you.
Absolutely.
You find a business person in you. You find a teacher in you. You find an athlete in you. And now you running marathons. You could
Yes.
barely walk up the street.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you got a testimony.
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly. You thought you wanted to be single because you were hurt. Not necessarily because you didn't want to love.
Right.
You just didn't know how to make sure you just
protected.
expose yourself so that you
Wisely.
can be loved.
Right.
Yeah. So I've truly enjoyed today's conversation. If you're listening online, we have pretty much come to the end of today's show. I really appreciate you guys listening online. I know I have some people say, okay, I'm going to be on it. I'm going to be on gospelradionation.com. So we have some sponsors for today's show, and I'm very grateful. If you want to support today's show, this is a way where we can be heard, where the empowerment can reach people beyond my initial grasp. I have so many people that I get a chance to network with
Right.
through this medium, through this show. So thank you to C&E Tax Service. She said, get the refund you deserve. I can personally testify to that. That's Miss Cheryl Egan. If you need your taxes done, don't wait. Go ahead and get your taxes filed. She's here in Stafford, Texas, which is not too far from our radio station. I will be putting her website, which is cetaxservice.com. We also have a sponsor here today is Join the Movement as Brick Investments Group and Boss Lady present the book launch for Ramology Note to Self, a motivational book of poems, inspirational quotes, and black art. Register for the event. There's a book signing coming up Saturday, March 2nd. I'll be there, so if you're going to come out, we get a chance to meet each other as well and enjoy the evening. They will have a band, Patrick Tribute Band, and we get to meet the author, Alpine. That's also on Eventbrite. If you're on my Facebook page, I will be posting a link. I know Miss Lisa McAlpine, she already posted the link, and I'll repost it. I'm also going to shoot this out in our newsletter. If you are not signed up, you can go to my website, womenempoweringchange.org. That's womenempoweringchange.org. Sign up. You get to see who's going to be on the show. There are different opportunities that are presented for business professionals. One being our BBU magazine cover contest. The exciting part is there's only one spot left. And the first place prize goes to whoever has the number of supporters that will vote for them to win our first place prize package, which is a photo shoot provided by our company and the cover of our 2019 magazine, Beautifully Being You, also known as BBU Magazine. If you want to be a guest on the show, you can also go to womenempoweringchange.org. We are looking for speakers for our mental, emotional, and physical health and wellness. So we already have some great physical therapists signed up, some personal trainers. We also have some mental health awareness advocates that will be joining us.
I'm there.
Awesome.
My wife's on there
And
too.
we have a co-host for today, Mr. Sebastian Moore, so I'm really grateful to him. Now, I always love to give our last little shout-outs while I pass out our gifts. So once again, if you're in on our Facebook page, we will be posting the links to our page. We're going to let our in-studio guests share with you all, their Instagram or Facebook. One way you can reach them through social media and their name. So we're going to go back through that one more time before we end the show.
Start with the good doctor.
Start with the doctor.
Good doctor.
Okay, once again, I am Dr. LaShonda Jackson Dean, the pen slaying author. And you can find me, my services, as well as my books on www.drlashondajacksondean. You see C's, Level Up, Slaw, The Tea Party and the Prayer, and JDI. Thank you so much.
And thank you. My name is Andrew Landry. I'm the author of the book Overcoming the Addiction That No One Has. You can get the book on Amazon, or you can also go to my website, which is the author Andrew J. Landry. That's also my hashtags for my website and my Instagram, the author Andrew J. Landry. And join me and all men. Join me on Monday nights in Humble. We have a men's session, mini session, where men come out and have a judgment-free zone where we can talk about the issues of life. That's every other Monday. We'll be back on the 18th. If you link up with me on Facebook, I'll get you the invitation to that. And it's free to everybody, and we just have a really good time.
I'll actually be posting that on my page as a separate post. You can follow me at Shantae Gamble, at Shantae no A. So Shantae Gamble on Instagram and Facebook.
Yes,
and
I was gonna say, can I get an invitation? And
I
where
know.
specifically?
And
shot. I
thank
know
you for
some
my
shops.
book.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I do good with
I'm
gifts, I
happy.
told you.
Yeah.
I know.
Meaning.
Look, I feel love. Okay, once again, shout out to how they can find you,
Yes,
Mr. Moore.
Sebastian Moore, Progress to Purpose Concierge Therapy. You can find me on IG, P2P_LPC, or you can find me on Twitter, P2P Therapy, or on Facebook with the name of the practice, Progress to Purpose Concierge Therapy. Like I said, I had a great time today, and I enjoyed the opportunity to be a helpmate on Gospel Radio Nation.
And I love you guys for coming in the show. Now, I've been giving out candy all month. I love it because we are talking about love
Thank you.
month long. So why not give a heart?
Yes.
Cool. Got
Some
another
chocolate.
gift. Got another gift to give my wife.
Or re-gift it.
Yeah.
The gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
There we go. Once again, thank you guys for joining us on Let's Talk Life XL. We know that life can get extra large. Tune in with us next Saturday from 2 to 4. We will be on a little later this month. We will not be on air next weekend, but we will be on air on the 23rd. We're going to be talking about self-love, loving yourself, being you, being authentically you, and just kind of walking through, what that means. So I'm really excited about our guests that will be there. But you can tune in with us every Saturday from 2 to 4. Thank you guys on GospelRadioNation.com. Bye, y'all.
I want to thank all my friends for joining us
With the
on
technology.
the Facebook
Yeah.
Live. Thank you for your support and love. I appreciate you so much. But don't forget to go and get your books at www.drlashondajacksondean.com. Get